Welcome to this episode of the Tokenizer series of the Token Reg Radar interviews, this time with a guest from Hungary. The Token Reg Radar is a global radar constantly collecting regulatory news about the token economy and the space of asset tokenization and security tokens. The Token Reg Radar is a SaaS service for lawyers, issuance companies, exchanges, and companies running STOs. To learn more and to subscribe to the Token Reg Radar, please click the link in the description below. Today, I'm pleased to welcome Bedrettin Gürcan, who is a founding partner of the law firm Gurcan Partners. Bedrettin lives and works in Budapest, and the topic of today's interview will be the regulatory status of the token economy in Hungary. So, welcome, Bedrettin. It's good to have you here. Please, could you start out by telling us about Gurcan Partners' work in Hungary?
Mm-hmm. First, thanks so much, Michael, for inviting us. It was a pleasure, and it's great to see also Tokenizer how you are doing a great job. Technically, as a Gurcan Partners, we are a Budapest-based international law firm. Our first office was in Budapest, but recently we have offices in 10 countries so far. Mostly we work in CEE region, Central Eastern Europe. Also, we have another company named Blockchain Law Lab, which is our under company under the roof of Gurcan Partners. Actually, in 2017, we incorporated this company in New York, actually, while I was in New York, though. Since 2016, also in person, I'm working in academic field of the blockchain and legal side. But when I came back to Europe, and I just realized that there's a huge gap in Central Eastern Europe in terms of regulatory side. Of course, for example, we have also in Germany, and I can see that in Germany there are so many discussions that are going on. But of course, when you come back to Hungary, Poland, Czech Republic, even Serbia, it is a huge gap because there's a still very young and energetic population. However, in the other side, the regulatory side was not so ready. And even in Western Europe, it's not so ready, but in the Eastern, it was kind of like a space, the distance. And then actually in 2017, we decided to focus on more CE region. Since then, actually, we mainly represent foreign entities and also the local entities as well, but mainly our clients are coming from other countries. Let's say that, for example, it's not our client, but like just an example. For example, Binance has operations across the world, and then at the beginning they didn't need so much regulatory side, but since it is becoming stricter and stricter, of course they don't want to lose the market in Hungary, Czech Republic, Poland. Even Poland is a big market, but Hungary is not a big market. But still, there are 10 million people. Why they supposed to lose? And then technically they were looking some legal assistance in these small countries to make it legalized or make it compliance their structure. And then, technically we start with mostly first exchanges, and later on physical cryptocurrency businesses came into these countries, like a Bitcoin ATMs or something. And recently, actually, thankfully, we start to work many also blockchain projects, which is with logistics, healthcare, government sectors. And also in other side, we work with the universities and government officers, in terms of the legalization of this crypto and blockchain ecosystem in these countries.
One of the area within the crypto and blockchain space that we are particularly interested in is what we the broad term would be asset tokenization, and specifically also when a token becomes a security or security token. I know that security tokens are not specifically regulated in Hungary, but as far as I understand it, it doesn't mean that it's illegal or banned or anything, but it's perhaps just unregulated. So it's a kind of gray zone currently, or how would you describe that?
Of course, as you say that, recently I divided actually the concepts are divided into two categories. The first one is more tokenization side or token cryptocurrency, like a more monetary side, and finance, banking, law, and security. In other side, that there's a blockchain project which deal with the data. Let's say GDPR sides, let's say other data security side, or some other specific laws in the field of the business, let's say. And in terms of tokenization, as you say, that the good thing that actually now at the beginning when I start my first thesis in the master, legal framework of the cryptocurrencies and ICO. It was the topic of my thesis. We check about 30 different countries' regulation, which was not so much exist, to be honest, during that period. Our first thing that we were trying to put to the cryptocurrencies, either commodity, security, or money. And it was a big discussion. And then everyone was making so wide comments about that. But recently what happened, thankfully, the blockchain ecosystem improved a lot, it grow a lot. And then now we are talking about, the security token, we are talking about utility token, monetary token, Now at least even the rule makers and us and academicians or the service providers know that which one is this. And in terms of security side, it is becoming actually challenging because security laws are one of the most strictest laws in these countries, and it is a reason that security projects actually becoming under challenge in these countries. Somehow, in terms of the utility tokens or this kind of tokenization, which is not dealing with security so much, for them it becomes easier because before that, if you do deal with the cryptocurrency, it was not so welcome in many countries. Now actually they at least ask you that which kind of token you are gonna publish. And then if you are dealing with utility something, then it's fine. But if you are going to do with security side, it must be careful very much because security is very wide range as well. I mean, you can be understood as a share, you can be understood as other security instruments, maybe even you're not intent to. It's the reason our biggest thing is recently that whether we should put your service to the security or not. If you put it, then which regulation we should be obeying.
Just to ensure that I understand you correctly, would you say that it is actually possible to make an STO in Hungary today, or is it still too early?
There are several ICOs in all these three countries, including Hungary. And to be honest, that in terms of security tokens, it is very early stage, I believe, still. Yeah. And because they are learning, as I said, that divisions of the tokens, which is a good thing. And in terms of personal or corporate tax incomes, and they are kind of getting better. However, in terms of security, still it is security. There is no division between the company share and token. And if you are dealing with like a company share as a the market like a stock exchange, then it's quite strict. So it means that still cryptocurrency security providers has to obey to these strict security laws in these all three countries. For example, in Germany, it is changing. They are like doing banking law and they are adding some security clause about blockchain. But in Hungary and Czech Republic and Poland, there are some movements actually. I know that they are working on it, but there is no tangible results yet. So much. It is possible? Yes, but we should discuss it, of course, which kind of security we will offer. And second thing that, of course, are we ready to spend this amount of time and energy for regulatory side?
If you want to make an STO, a security token offering in Hungary, I suppose that you will probably have to make a prospectus, right? Because as far as I can see, the threshold below which the prospectus is not required is quite low in Hungary. It's 1 million euro, and that, as you of course know, it differs between the European countries. In many of them, it's 5 million or even 8 million. But in Hungary, it's 1 million. So is that right that you will probably have to make some kind of prospectus if you were going to make an STO?
I mean, technically you're right. Hungary, if you compare with other countries, also maybe because of that these amounts has been calculated based on their national currency, and recently Hungarian forint lost so much, power, and it is the reason that the amount, as you mentioned, that become very low, which is good. But the thing that actually, as you stated, when the project come to us, of course, we first think about local, right, like Hungary, but we shouldn't forget that it's a European Union member. And it is the reason that we first try to understand, of course, the project and then see that Hungarian conditions. And then also we should look for the European Union side. And European Union side is quite strict in terms of anti-money laundering and KYC side, and it's going to get stricter. In terms of the security side, the security offering, Hungarian limit is kind of lower, as you mentioned. If you compare with Poland, absolutely Hungary has some benefits to apply security offerings. But in other side, also there is a kind of minus that still we shouldn't forget that these are the old Soviet countries. These are not so technology-driven countries, and then there are not so much experts in the tax or security offices who knows what we are offering. And it is the reason that even the project is small, they can make a comment about that, okay, it's kind of share or it's kind of stricter security. And it is the reason that this prospectus, what you mentioned, it's very, very important to be shaped, of course, by the project owners, because they know the project better than all of us. Secondly, we should shape this prospectus according to Hungarian security law that they shouldn't make another comment on it, and then start the procedure, as you say.
And of course, a benefit of making a prospectus, if you are a European a member of the European Union, is of course that you will be able to passport it to the other European countries as well afterwards, right?
Correct. Technically, yes. Technically, no. Yeah, I mean, the most famous lawyer word in sentences, I guess, it depends.
It depends. It always depends.
Yeah, we should say never, never, or never yes. Always. Like it's really depending on the project by project, because it is all about that. Especially the problem is that here. Okay, let's say that we get a license, we obtain a license from Hungary, and then we would like to go to the German market, right, as a Hungarian company. And we are the legit company in the European Union and have the European Union license as well. I mean, like a Hungarian company. But these licenses are still Hungarian licenses, And when you go to Germany, there's another German law, which has some differences with Hungarian law, of course. And then it's the reason that to give clear answer, because how it works, technically you start a project. If it is a small entrepreneur project, then until you collect some amount of money, technically, not so many people care. But when you reach exact some point, or when you grow your company, of course, or when you fail in terms of some technicality, let's say your website down for 1 hour, then technically there are so many reports to the either police or government officer or Security Exchange Commission of these countries. Then the technical all looks eyes on you, and then it is a moment that technically it is very hard to fix everything in that state. And it's the reason that first, of course, we should understand that what is the, of course, budget of the project. If the project starts with, let's say, 10,000 euro, of course, it is not worth of it to get Hungarian license, because probably license official cost will like that, like even not lawyer fee or something. And I'm like a more entrepreneur mind in terms of this kind of project. First, if I see the project, even we don't offer maybe security in advance. First, we shape as a software company. Then after we are ready, maybe we get investment or we see all the project conditions. Then at that moment we start the procedure. But also we focus on that which country also we are gonna look for more. But big countries are mostly more problematic in terms of the checking you, let's say, because in Hungary there are not so many Hungarian citizens technically can be the worst gets frauded by the Security Exchange, but in Germany it can be millions of people, and it means that more reports, it means that bigger money, and it means that more eyes on you.
So where do you expect all this to go? Let's say within 3 to 5 years. Hopefully the war will be over. But at that time, and we are all moving on in a more positive direction. But where do you expect this development of what we are talking about here to go in these couple of years?
I mean, technically, what I see that actually recently I write a book, but it hasn't been published yet. But the topic was that the decentralized world, and what I see that the new concept is I'm not saying any more blockchain or cryptocurrency. I'm saying that decentralized ecosystem, like a Web3 technically, what we are talking about. And technically, the system become very centralized, and then it's not gonna work anymore because of the so many. Just imagine, even the most democratic countries in the UK and US has been affected hardly by the Cambridge Analytica scandal, and there are so many discussions, right? Even in the UK and US. What I am saying, even because it means that in many other countries it is already happening, but we are not catching. And it is the reason that I guess the centralization is become a very big threat, not just for the citizens, but also for the states itself. Because technically, American state even cannot control the Facebook and Google anymore so much. And what about that, how the Poland, Hungary, Czech Republic will control the Google now? The banning is a solution? No, you cannot ban. If you ban it, then you will be very behind of the whole technology going on. Huge economy is gonna lose. If you close the Instagram, you will lose millions of euros from the sale of Instagram. And what I see that this centralization system is becoming very big threat, and then the world is going to be, in my comment, that, or it has to be, to the decentralized side. And in terms of that, for me, one of the biggest promises, what I see, that decentralized finance, DeFi, because technically, rather than to put your money into the interest of your bank, in Hungary, let's say, or Germany, okay, you can exchange to the cryptocurrency and put on some DeFi protocols, and then technically you can get better interest rate. And then actually it is a very big thing, and it is a big challenge to the banks. And I guess the DeFi will be the main thing. And decentralized applications, which adopts also, which is another field, because you know that when you have if you're a coder, if you would like to upload your let's say app to the Apple or Google, except that you don't have so much choice, like 90-80% of whole ecosystem is dominated by 2 companies. And then it is a big unfair thing that you cannot compete with many others. And it is a reason that also decentralized applications also kind of thing. Also, DAO is another field. But what I see that the Web3 is the future of this ecosystem, and is going to be more decentralized. And of course, that in the legality side, maybe even states will support it against to the big thrones of the let's say internet companies like Google, Facebook. Rather than having the Google or Facebook, they would be maybe very welcome to the Web3, and if you shape the system correctly.
Yes, that's going to be very interesting to see. Thank you very much, Bedrettin, for taking part of this interview today. And thank you also to the viewers of this episode of the Token Reg Radar Interview Series, brought to you by the Tokenizer. We will be back soon with yet another episode and with yet another exciting legal expert as guest. Meanwhile, please visit the Tokenizer, and please check out the Token Reg Radar on regradar.thetokenizer.io. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, dear Michael. Thank you.